This is Universal Heritage Television Nigeria. We welcome you once again to our Matter of Concern program, a program that mirrors the socio-economic and political challenges around us. The matter under discourse today will look at indiscipline among youths. Who do we hold responsible? I have a gentleman and a woman to discuss the matter. And there are people you can trust you're going to get so much from. On my immediate left is Dr. Mrs. Mma Olebara. She is an educationist, a public commentator, and author of 6 books. I would prefer to describe her as the radio senator because she's very active in her own way of practicing activism. Madam, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you. Welcome, viewers.
Okay. Next to her is Chief Austin Wanjoko, an Owerri-based businessman and politician who is also a community leader. Sir, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you, my host, and welcome our viewers.
My name is Afam Echi. Please remember to give us thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Madam, you see, the youths are described as leaders of tomorrow, and people believe that the strength of a nation lies on the youths. So much expectations are built around the youth, but there is a lot of negative commentaries around them. You know, so much that it doesn't give people hope anymore that the future is going to be bright or bright. Now, do you think the youth still do understand that they are the future leaders of tomorrow?
Yeah, thank you. Some do understand. Others don't understand. Because when you come to the society, you begin to see the type of youths we have. And you begin to wonder, are these children or these youths from families? And you begin to wonder the type of training being given by the parents to these children and what these children are learning from their parents. You see, the home is the first stable for training, nurturing enviable conducts and morals. But when you come to the family, mothers especially are looked up for the main training of these children. And some of the mothers over-pamper these children. And by the time you realize it, these children have deviated. You see?
Okay, madam, I will come to you on the role of parents.
Okay.
But what I want to find out from you, do you think the youths are very, very conscious of the expectation from the society from them?
Some are conscious, some are not conscious.
Yes. Okay, sir. The scripture we learned told us that train a child in the way he should go, and when he grows up, he will not depart from it. Just like Madam wanted to discuss the role of parents, do you think parents have actually lived up to this responsibility of growing their children the way they should go?
Yeah, thank you very much. In fact, to be honest with you, I think the parents are actually doing their best. The problem with the youth, from my own perspective, is that the youth, the parents actually give out their best. But the problem we're having now is that the academic system, the type of orientation they receive from school, you see, the school is to prepare the child for the future, to take up responsibility, to take up employment, to be able to control the family and contribute to the larger society. But the problem now is that the kind of curriculum we have is not enough to give the student, the youth, what they really want. You see, when you come to curriculum, That is why now the emphasis is on skill acquisition. If you train a child at the end of the day is unemployable, then it appears as if that youth has not received anything. But if at the end that youth has something he can hold on, something you can say, okay, now even if somebody doesn't employ me, I can employ myself. That is the time you start saying that the youth are receiving something. But anything short of that, government cannot employ everybody. If government cannot employ, somebody should be equipped to be able to employ himself and then employ others. So I think the youth actually have to give in direction through curriculum. So now, you see, I know that there was a time the government introduced this, before now we used to have 6 years in primary school, 5 years in secondary school. But later they changed it, 6-3-3, kind of, so that the first 3 years you take it to learn kind of skill. Then the other 3 years is general distance. So that at the end, if you are not employed, whatever you acquire, you use it to get yourself somewhere.
Okay, madam, you heard him very well. He appears to locate the challenge in the education system we are practicing, the curriculum. He appears to fault it. Now, you that is an educationist, do you agree with him that is part of the problem, or where the entire problem lies? He has indicated that parents are doing their best.
But their best is not good enough.
So go ahead and tell us where the parents are not very
You see, as I was about to say, mothers especially, some, not all mothers, some over-pamper their children. And by the time you realize it, these children have become autists. When was? You see our youths, the type of dresses they put on, you see the type of what they drink. Our youths have deviated so much, yahoo, all sort of behavior, wrong conduct. Our youths are no longer doing that which they're supposed to do. And you see, it's very easy to bear a child, but very difficult to train them, and that's where the challenge lies for parents. If parents fail to have headache when they're training these children at the tender age, if they allow them to grow up that way, they will have enough heartache when they grow up, because they have deviated. Fathers, some of them travel a lot. They wake up very early in the morning. They will not even call their family members to prayers, to sit on a table, say their morning prayers, read the Bible, and know what they're supposed to do for the day. They leave home very early in search of money. If they get this money and lose the children, what have they benefited? So you find out that the home, where the parents, that some are trying, but some are not living up to expectation. Home training is, the society is good today is because the home, the foundation. What foundation are you laying for these children? What are you impacting on? What the examples are? You see, parents are like mirror. Children look up to their parents. What are you bringing to the table for the children to emulate? What are you bringing for them to take back from you? It's really a very big problem for our society, because if the home is good, the society will be good.
Okay, so
I have something to add. I think that one of the bane of our youth development is westernization. Okay. Westernization has impacted so much on the youth that our culture has a lot to give, and we learn a lot from the culture. But the issue is that our own society, we emulate a lot, we imbibe a lot from other culture, and they are actually impacting on our youth. So then another thing, another closest thing to that is internet. Internet is actually removing the responsibility of parents, now acting as if it is the character molder as far as the youths are concerned. You see, they're exposed to a lot of things on the internet. You will see a youth, a child of 6 years, he has phone. And the type of things that youth is not supposed to, that child is not supposed to look at, they are exposed to it. So you see, these are the problems. Westernization, internet, it has killed our culture. It has destroyed what our culture has imparted. So this is where the parents are finding it difficult. The parents cannot monitor the children 24 hours. In the morning they have to go to fend for the family. You see, due to high rate of inflation, cost of living is high. To be able to maintain a family of 5 or 6 is a very Herculean task. So you just can see that the parents have to be sympathized. I have to sympathize with them. I'm telling you honestly. So these things are impacting so much on our youth.
Yes.
Okay.
You see, before you go ahead. You say the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. If you give your child the right training, the training he is supposed to have, when he goes out, you will not be afraid. You cannot stay by 9 o'clock. Do you know where your child is by 9 p.m.? That's what LETA reminds us in those days. But do you know some parents cannot even pay visits to their children in the schools? Some that are living, some of the youths in boarding off campus. Yeah. Some are living with their fellow students, male, female, sleeping on the same bed, cohabiting, doing what marriage.
So that's marriage.
Yes, and it's a very big problem because some get impregnated, and some parents, some mothers encourage some of these people to go for abortion, which is murder, which is killing innocent child, because you did not train that child in this way you're supposed to train that child. And another thing, phones. When I was in the system, I tried to see that government bans the use of handset in school, because you'll be teaching in a class and students will be carrying their phone browsing, and you begin to wonder what these children are browsing. They're browsing things that are inimical to the progress of their studies. They're browsing things, immorality, immoral acts, pornography. That's what these children browse on. And you wonder the type of phone these children are carrying. A student that is being paid, that the parents are struggling to pay their fees, they are carrying iPhone. Some are carrying phones of 100 and 200, 500,000. And you begin to wonder, how did they get the money for these phones? So parents have a lot to do to see that these children are trained in the fear of God. If you train your child, I'm proud of my children. I cannot stay now, the police will come and say, my child is, they arrested him or her. So when you train your child, you will be confident that wherever they are representing you very well.
So if I get Madam right, what you are saying is that the challenge begins with the parents.
Yes.
Because if you have gotten it right from home, because the family is the first level of education, socialization, then any child that has gotten it right at that point, maybe some of these environmental factors, internet and other exposures, that is what you are saying.
Sure.
It's okay. Now, Chief said that parents are doing well. And there is no doubt that some parents will be doing well. We have got a situation that sometimes you see very good parents, parents who come from very good background, people speak glowingly about them, but you cannot say anything good about their children. So how do we reconcile it? Good parents giving birth to bad children.
Peer pressure.
Okay, madam. No, I'm asking you, madam. Okay. You said
peer pressure. You see, some of these children, because of the type of society we are in, some of them have friends that are from rotten families. Sorry to use that word.
No, feel free.
Yes, so these children, when they mingle with these ones, you see them influencing them negatively. I've seen when I was still in the system before I retired.
When they tell us when you were in, say, what role were you playing?
Oh my God!
Were you a principal, a head teacher, or so?
In fact, let us know. It was because cultism was very much on ground that period, and Yeah, if you are listening, then you will hear one day that police, army, all the security agencies stormed our school then, one of the schools in the state, because of a call I made when cultists stormed our, because I never allowed them. My school was one of the schools that would be used as an example in Imo State, and my students, none of them misbehaved. But when these cultists and those who tried to spoil them came, we made sure that they were removed from the school to avoid spoiling the good ones. So that's it on that. The peer pressure.
So let us have your
Yeah. In fact, you know, there is what you call group indiscipline. There is also group indiscipline. There is also individual indiscipline. Group indiscipline has to do with collection of people who misbehave, who go against norm. You understand? Now, this group indiscipline, you cannot trace it to families. Because if you want to trace it to families, you have to separate their family one by one to know if those families are, are well groomed or not. You understand? Now, for example, some time ago, we had a problem in the Niger Delta where we had militants. You understand? They were going after oil people, bunkering and all that. That is where you have group indiscipline. So now, where do you locate that problem? You see, the people were marginalized. You locate it where? The government. The government was responsible because the government was not doing what they are supposed to do, give them what they were supposed to give them. So you see them, they sprang up and started, stealing oil. You understand that? So how do you solve that problem? What government had to do? Now, Yar'Adua was in charge then. Yar'Adua now said, okay, let us put a policy that will now see to the training of these children. Now they collected a large number of them, sent them overseas, and gave them skill training. Then they started paying some of them. Do you know that that problem has either that it has not stopped actually, but it has helped? You understand that?
Government intervention.
Government intervention. So in that case, you don't blame the father, you don't blame the mother, you don't blame the family. You understand? That is government orchestrated indiscipline.
So if we have to take it further from the theory of group indiscipline, how will you explain what is happening in Nigeria?
What is happening in Nigeria? You see, goes to tell you the same thing. You see, we have politicians who also go to recruit people. The people they recruit are not their children. These are children that are from, some of them are from good families, but due to poverty. You understand? You see these youths falling to such kind of a thing. They recruit them, pay them peanuts, ask them to go and perpetuate one crime or the other. You see them doing it. You understand? So in that case, you see it is still government. This is politics.
It's a creation of government.
Government. You understand?
So and only government can resolve that.
Can resolve it. And now you see recently, I overheard somebody. I saw one video. One of the politicians was telling you, he was addressing them. He said, look, if you are not going to vote for the social party, nobody should come out on that day. It happened somewhere in Lagos. It happened in Imo State.
Yes.
That you shouldn't come out if you know you are not a member of this party. He has recruited people, and he's not the person that is going to implement that his program. He's also he's going to recruit people. He's going to pay them to make sure that anybody who doesn't come up for his party should not come out. And if that happens, you can imagine what will happen to whoever that comes out. So these are the problems we are having. Government has a lot of role to play. Parents are playing their own role. Unemployment has its own role. You understand? Unemployment is playing its own role. Students, somebody will go to school, come out. At the end of the day, you remain at home 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. No job. No, you can be recruited by people who, by drug dealers. Along the line, they start taking drugs. Somebody who has been a very good child, for the fact that he has been without job all the while, government has contributed to that. If the society, if the economy has been, our leaders, I will call leaders, the leaders. Because when you call government, you are not apportioning it to anybody. The leaders, if you know you are a leader in government, you are responsible for one of the problem of our youth.
Okay.
Yes, and the church too.
Okay, I will come to that. Look,
Okay.
I want you to take the next question because, you see, the education of a child takes different levels.
Okay.
You know, first of all, a child is socialized into his society through the family,
Yeah.
through the school he attends, through the churches, through the government, and through the community and society in general.
Yeah.
Now, all of these agents are supposed to model the youth or the child to the expected roles. Now, to what extent can we say these institutions, the church, the community, and all of them generally, to what extent have they played responsibly the roles that are expected to do?
Okay, let me start with the government.
Okay.
You see, the teachers that teach these youths, how is government taking care of the teachers? No motivation, no incentive. Go to our classrooms and see the environment in which these children learn. Go to private schools, you will be shocked at the level of decadence. You will be shocked at the level of destruction of our infrastructure. What are these children learning from this school? What the school environment coupled with the teachers who are nonchalant, because when a teacher is an angry teacher, is a danger to the students. When a teacher is not motivated, he will not give his best. What do you expect from a teacher who comes to school very early and the students are not nowhere to be found? By 10 o'clock, you see our students coming to school. When school is supposed to start by 7:30, morning devotion. See these students, what government is not taking care of these teachers and the infrastructure where these children learn. And okay, for instance, a classroom is supposed to be one in which a teacher has about 20 students. Know them by their names, teach them and know their problems, know their challenges. But in a situation where we have over 80 students in one class, with no microphone, the teacher will be shouting. You begin to wonder the type of education these children get. So government is not, even the youths that are already out of the school system, no enabling environment for them to actualize their potentials on earth. Government is not living up to expectation. Then we come to the churches. The churches are no longer teaching morality. All they are after is money, prosperity. They are no longer living up to expectations. Go to our churches. Every Sunday, collection, first collection, second, third, fourth, fifth, the after money. So they have failed woefully in that responsibility which God has entrusted in their care. So that's the challenge in that aspect.
Okay, so what do you have?
To add to what she has said, you see, we have communities. The communities we have are also helping to promote decadence. The communities, yes. You see, somebody will go out and make money by any means. You don't try to find out, this person, how did you make your money? Then you come home, you'll be given chieftaincy title. Maybe you will say, I got chieftaincy title. How did I get my own? I got my chieftaincy title through hard work for the community. That's how I got it. So if chieftaincy titles are made for people who have actually served the community, who have actually made their money through not giving title to somebody because he has money. You identify somebody who has added value to somebody, who has added value to the community in any good way. You understand? Then you can now say, we give this person title. But when the children see that, oh, somebody will go somewhere, make money and come home and buy chieftaincy title, you see them say, okay, as the society accept this, I can do the same and also come home and buy chieftaincy title. You understand?
Yes, and they are giving front seats
in the churches. In the churches.
Parents are not helping, but I remember one woman A boy came one day crying to me that his mother was telling him, see his friends, see this, see this. He has bought a car, he has built a house, he has built a house, he has done this, he has done that. Is he not ashamed of himself? And this was a boy who was struggling to make ends meet by hard work. Even a mother I was dropping one day, I was telling me, I asked him, I learned that your son bought a car for you. I say, yes, I'm trying to learn how to drive. I say, what is your son? Yahoo, others are doing now. Imagine a mother encouraging Yahoo, others are doing. That is.
Are you sure she understands what?
That's another thing. So it's really a very big challenge.
The text delight I enjoy.
Yes, others are doing.
Maybe they may not have explained properly. Okay, that's very interesting. Now, before we come to the end of the program, let's ask one or two. Sir, you mentioned you are a chief. You mentioned the influence of Westernization on our culture. You know, today our culture is bastardized. You know, is battered and rejected. You know, due to the invasion. Now, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? You know, because I'm sure our culture has a lot of influence on our upbringing. Yeah. So what do you think we need to do in that area?
You see, and the things we really need to do is going back to drawing board. We have to recognize the importance of community leadership. Now, if you recognize the importance of community leadership, you make sure that the community leaders are recognized in a way that they have to have influence on whoever behaves the way he does in the community. For example, you go and get money and come home. The community will invite you, say, oh, my friend, you are this, you have this. What is happening? How are you? How did you make it? You understand? Once that starts happening, I am telling you honestly, people will become conscious of how they exhibit their wealth, no matter how you get it. Because one thing is making the wealth, another thing is exhibiting it. You understand? You can make money and start using it. Nobody comes to ask you, do you have money? You understand? Somebody will have money and start using styrene because you have made money. You start using styrene. If any person comes out, no other person is a human being other than you. Then the community, they know who is who. You understand? They know who is who. They can invite somebody in the community, in the village square. So my friend, what is happening? You did this, you did why this? Now again, you see children.
That's where it used to happen in the past.
Yes, before now.
When somebody commits a crime. You know, there is this naming and shaming. We have it as a culture.
Yes.
Then you get somebody, you strip him.
Then, rub him with black paint or that kind of a thing. Yeah. And then take him around the village.
Sing around,
yes.
I think that used to help.
It used to help. That is a social control. It's a form of social control. Yes. But then again, you see the children, somebody will wear kind of, especially the girls, they wear kind of thing and come to the village. People will be seeing such a person. And nobody will raise alarm. I say, look, woman friend, who is your father? Who is your mother? Don't do this. My friend, come and go and remove this nonsense. Look at our boys. They are now wearing trousers on their lap. Not by the waist again. They call it sagging. So if somebody notices a child wearing that kind of thing, so come. There was a day I saw a man. He was wearing this. I said, my friend, your trouser is falling. I said, your trouser is falling. No. He knows what I meant. He said, is it your problem? Does it concern you? You know that kind of thing. If you raise such alert in the villages, you see somebody, you talk. You talk. And the people will start being conscious of the way they dress. You understand?
But I have a problem, I have a challenge with what you said. Can it really work? Take your mind to this situation where most of our community leaders, the chiefs we have now, they buy their position, through money. They go to government and government impose chiefs, traditional rulers on the people. So if you are expecting them to They said you don't give what you don't have. For somebody who has already compromised his position and is made a leader, do you think he will be able to play any controlling role?
That is where our legislature has a lot of role to play. The legislature have to make laws that will make, going to power, less expensive. If the going to power is made less expensive, or in a situation where we make it part-time, participation, remove all those nonsense. The whole thing will roll to other sides. You understand? It will, from that level to the village level.
I want to add there.
Madam, I would like you. Okay, make your point then.
So let's go back to the basics.
Okay.
In the olden days, our fathers gathered us by the fireside and told us stories that encourage hard work, that encourage respect, those do's and don'ts, that discourage don'ts, those things we are not supposed to do, lies, dishonesty, disrespect, and what have you. So we should, I think it's time to get back to that old life.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Okay, madam, what you said is...
Even though socialization of the social media has taken over that aspect.
I think it will be very interesting to discuss. I may have to bring two of you here back again, in the very near future, so that we take it from there, because there are silent issues you raised, and let us now know how possible it is to practicalize this thing, because there is need for us to get back our youths. Because when you sit back and reflect what we are experiencing now, what happens in the next 10 years, and is for me, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. Then maybe just a way to round off, Chief, I would like you to maybe make one or two, just one point, as a closing remark, what you think we need to do, outside what you have said, to salvage the situation for our youth and for our future.
In fact, the issue is that our children should be somehow self-dependent, in the sense that what you think you can offer, you bring it to the fore. You don't look at somebody and say, oh, this person has made it, and you don't know how he has made it, and you want to follow the way he has made it, just like this year we have of 18. If you are self-reliant, I am telling you honestly, going into vices will be reduced.
Madam, what is your point? A possible remedy?
Yes, parents should start early, very early, in training these children. They should not over-pamper them. They should not wait till they overgrow them. As the Igbos say, if they start early to show these children the right path to follow, you see that these children will come out, children they will be proud of, and not children that will bring tears to their homes. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you very much.
Madam, my radio senator, I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Piers, this is where we draw the curtain for the program. You have had it all from them. That today, the internet is something that appears now to be molding the character of our youth. And parents have lost control of their children. That if they start early to train them, they will be able to navigate them to the right path.
Sure.
On this note, we call it a wrap, and ask you to remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. My name again is Afam H.